the whole worried about folding, but worried about damaging the covers. Okay, everybody. The beginning of Comicus. So first up, we show the books that we're looking at for the week. We have Batman. Oh, it's hard to see because of the colors they chose, isn't it? They went with a silver. Well, it's Batman the Drowned. Dark Knight's Batman the Drowned, which is part of Metal. So we got that. We have Guardians of the Galaxy, issue 12, with an awesome cover. It actually says on here, who will be the next member of the Guardians of the Galaxy? And it's not a lie. There is actually a new member that joins. Here you see Man-Thing, Deadpool, Doctor Strange, and Cable. Marvel's had some really awesome covers recently. This is a really nice one. One second here. Next up we have, get ready for it everybody, Spider-Gwen 25. Also, you can't see my face though. There we go. Spider-Gwen 25. Gwenom Part 1. That's right. On the front cover, you see Gwenom. Okay. And believe it or not, it's been a while since we've reviewed one of these. Batman 33. Batman number 33. Okay, so first up, we are going to look, we're going to do a little something different this week. We're going to look at, first off, all new Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, this is the beginning of part 2, where we go through each book, give a little bit of a review, tell you what I think of it. So DC's the comic book for grown-ups. I think all comic books are for all ages, but honestly, some of the stuff's pretty dark in Marvel and DC. Let's see here. I mean, as much as a book of not all the characters in comics are in their underwear, though. You know, only certain ones. A lot of them have crazy suits now that are almost like armor and stuff. Okay, so Guardians of the Galaxy 12 is a hoot. I've said this before. All new I gotta be careful, it's all new. All new Guardians of the Galaxy has been a really good series. There's only been 1 or 2 issues of the 12 that I didn't think were damn good yet. The other ones are great. And in this issue, they're all looking for the Infinity Stones. So you have Gamora and Drax. Gamora is going to talk to Doctor Strange about the Infinity Stones, and he doesn't know where they are. He's trying to help her. He is worried, though, that her path to the Infinity Stones is going to be very dangerous, and she may not like the results of it. Drax actually finds Cable and talks to Cable about the Infinity Stones. However, shocking surprise, as Drax is leaving, Cable calls him a green ignoramus. Flash of white light, Loki. It wasn't Cable, it was Loki. Loki's trying to get the Infinity Stones too. And as you might guess, a story involving the Infinity Stones, the Grandmaster, and the Collector, that's pretty damn awesome. So Guardians of the Galaxy, all new Guardians of the Galaxy has been really good so far. So the cover is slightly misleading, but very entertaining. Okay? So Rocket Raccoon gets back to the ship, and he's like, oh my god, what smells in here? Something smells awful. And he goes in a little locker and opens it up, and inside is a crumpled up, folded up Deadpool. And he's like, oh, hey guys, how you doing? And he wants to see if it's stowing away so he can get off of Earth, because he's worried because of the decisions he made involving Captain America and all the Hydra stuff, what they're going to do to him on Earth. So he's like, I dislocated this part of me and I folded myself like this to get in there. And it's really funny. It's really amusing. And he's like in a heap on the ground. And basically the Guardians are like, get the hell out of here. Okay. And then Rocket Raccoon is like, oh God, I hate Earth. I think something bit me. And then Ant-Man jumps off of Rocket Raccoon and he's like, sorry to stow away, guys. I'm wondering if I can get off the Earth. And they actually do decide to let Ant-Man join. So Ant-Man, Scott Lang, is now a member of the all-new Guardians of the Galaxy, at least for a little bit. And then Man-Thing shows up and there's some bizarre quasi-insanity showing different realities. And it was interesting because Ant-Man's like, why am I not in the other realities? He's worried about his fate, which is interesting. And there's some things I don't want to spoil at the very end of the book. But it was really good. All New Guardians of the Galaxy 12 was really strong. And I've been really happy with the series so far. Next up, we are going to look at Dark Knight's Batman the Drowned. I like it, but it's confusing to me. Okay? So they don't fully explain. This is actually the writer of Aquaman. And if you notice, this is a dark version of Batman fashioned like Aquaman, except a woman. And there's a quick line about in this alternate world about genders being different. Okay? And she's in love with someone named Sylvester that was taken away from her. And because of that, she's going to alternate realities to basically fuck up Aquaman and Mera. And it's very interesting, and she has this crazy army called Dead Water, which is really frightening. And you just see these different realities of her fighting Aquaman and Mera. And it didn't seem like as much was going on here as in the other ones. It was good. None of these one-shots have been bad yet, but this is actually my least favorite one, to be honest with you. It seemed very straightforward. The Batman who laughs, which is fashioned after the Joker, and almost is like a demon character that basically calls to these other versions and says, join the darkness, join Barbatos. He's there too, so it does that. And it very much seems like she's extremely dangerous and causes a lot of havoc. And Dr. Fate intervenes in this book too, just like the other ones. He actually gets Aquaman out of the way before the Drowned can kill him. Yeah, like I said, it was good. It's not like amazing to me, you know? The other three books I thought were really solid, and this just one isn't quite there for me, I guess you could say. Okay. Next up we have, get ready for it, Spider-Gwen! Gwenom Part 1. Okay? So, the entire book is Gwen trying to hunt down Alexei Sestevic. And unless you know who that is, Alexei Sestevic is the Rhino. She's trying to hunt him down. But he's being protected by Kingpin. This is where it gets insane. Kingpin is Matt Murdock, who you would know as the Daredevil. Well, I believe that Spider-Gwen takes a place in like an alternate reality where Peter Parker decides he becomes the Lizard instead of Spider-Man. And I mean, it's really crazy, and you have to know that going in, which I didn't. So I'm reading this, and I'm like, what is happening here? What is going on? Punisher's really bizarre and crazy, too. And I knew that there was something going on with an alternate dimension. I didn't know how drastically different it was, though. I didn't know it was Looney Tunes there. I thought it was mild differences, because that's kind of what it's like with the DC multiverse. A lot of things are the same, a number of things are different, but like it's not usually not everything is apeshit crazy, and all different characters are different. So Spider-Gwen is actually Spider-Woman, and basically to get her powers back, which are taken away from her, she becomes Gwenom. And Gwenom has like the whole like violence thing going on, and it's funny because Gwen's love of music, as well as, because she's also a musician, as well as the whole thing with Venom and sound, actually is the reason she can, at least right now, control him. Or control it, I guess you could say, as what Venom is. And she's basically trying to hunt down the Rhino, but out of nowhere, the Punisher shows up and kills the Rhino in this world. And she's like really upset and wanted to death for herself. And I believe I'm trying to piece it together. Rhino may have killed Gwen Stacy's father, Captain Stacy. I'm still trying to figure that out exactly. I liked it. It was interesting, but it was hard to follow. And there were so many insane differences that it was really challenging. It's funny too, because I read an issue only about like 4 or 5 months ago, and I really didn't have a problem with it, understanding it. But here it was like really different, and I don't know the exact reasoning for that. So, okay. And finally, our final book for Comicus this week, Batman number 33. Okay? Batman number 33. So, here's where it gets funny. I don't know if it's part of the War of Jokes and Riddles. I don't know if that's over yet. Unfortunately, I do get backlogged myself, even though I do the Comicus talk show. And there's some books I love that are kind of backlogged. And the last 3 or 4 Batman, believe it or not, are that way. I look forward to reading them. But I decided to, with limited time, just read this one. And oddly enough, it didn't ruin anything from them, because I feel they've started a new story arc, or this is like an in-between issue. But if this was an in-between issue, it was pretty damn good. The reason I said not War and Jokes and Riddles, I don't know for sure if it is. It doesn't say it at the top. Most of the chapters, if not all of them, said War of Jokes and Riddles and whatever number they were. This one doesn't. Just Rebirth, which is, you know, the current series of DC books. Anyway, it's like Lawrence of Arabia with Batman and Catwoman, okay? And they're basically out in the desert, and they're looking for something, and Batman's got his, like, goggles, not the lame ones from the new Justice League movie that every damn figure and statue seems to be sporting, but the ones he had in that alternate reality scene in the movie Batman v Superman, okay? And that's kind of the same kind of jacket he has on, too. He looks similar to that, and Catwoman's with him. And they're on some sort of mission, but we don't know what it is. And it's really kind of interesting. The first few pages are quite spare, very few words, just lets the images talk as they're going through the immense desert. Meanwhile, we have Thomas, who's basically the new Robin, Damian Wayne, and Jason Todd talking and finding out from Alfred that Master Wayne, Bruce, has proposed to Selina Kyle, and she accepted. And it's their insane reactions to that. And, like, Alfred being like, I'm not sure I should have told you. It's really funny stuff. It's really entertaining. Meanwhile, you find out that they're in Kadeem. Batman and Catwoman are in Kadeem. And that is basically a no-fly zone. So it's known that if you step foot into an area of Kadeem, that the Justice League are actually notified. So things get very interesting when there's these, basically, Clark Kent calls Alfred to find out what the hell's going on and where Batman is, and if he's actually in Kadeem. And there's an interesting reveal as to why they're in Kadeem, and it makes complete sense, and it leads into what can be a very exciting next issue a very tense issue, but it makes complete sense as to why they're there. Complete sense. I liked it. I thought it was really good. Like I said, I'm unfortunately about 4 issues behind or so, but I thought this was a good issue. And oddly enough, like I said, it really didn't spoil anything from the 4 I missed. So I definitely think it's either a mid-issue or it's part of a new story arc. Did you get Shay comic book? I'm not sure what that is. Okay, so next up we have the final phase of Comicus. And it's basically we go through the books and then we find out who won and who didn't. And the books that don't win, they are stripped of their bag and board. And then something else happens that's unique to every book. So, no, I didn't know there was one. I didn't know there was. Okay, so first off, we are going to look at why not this one? Batman 33. Again, I thought it was a good issue. I thought it was really solid, and it was probably my second favorite book of this week, but it's not my favorite. It just isn't. So, this hurts me to do this because of how much I love the character. Batman, I strip you, and viewers of this will be shocked as I'm doing this because how much I love Batman. I strip you of your bag and board. And I toss you into the desert of Kadim to be washed over by the sands. Okay, next up we have Spider-Gwen, issue 25. Sorry about that. It's hard to read the number on there on the screen I'm looking at. Issue 25. Again, it was hard to follow, but it was at least interesting. I do like the look of Spider-Gwen because it's insane. It's like, it's not really based on symmetry, and it's really kind of outlandish, especially the way the whole head part is done. That's really too how it looks in the comic. It's really kind of out there, very angular. And yeah, I'm interested in part 2, but I'm not chomping at the bit for it. So Spider-Gwen, issue 25. I strip you of your bag and board, and I toss you into an alternate reality where for some damn reason Matt Murdock is the Kingpin. Okay, next up, and this is going to shock people because there's 4 books for Comicus this week, and the last book is always the one that wins, is the winner of Comicus. So this will shock people when I do this, okay, that know me at all. The next book is Dark Knight's Batman the Drowned. Again, it's part of Metal. This one didn't connect to me like the other ones did. I thought it was still good, but I didn't think it was great. And I've honestly thought that all the other one-shots have been great, if not even better than great. Really impressive stuff. This one, I don't know. It just felt... it didn't make as much sense to me. I don't know. There are certain things that didn't connect. And, I mean, I don't usually read Aquaman, but Dan Abnett, the writer of this, is the writer of Aquaman currently. So I don't know if that would have helped me. I think it would have been helpful to know who the love of her life, Sylvester, was. I don't know. That might have been helpful. So, again, even though it's a one-shot of Metal, I have to strip it of its bag and board and toss it into the ocean. See, that was a real easy one. Just the ocean. Because it's kind of, she's kind of like Aquaman. Sort of. And finally, the winner of Comicus for this week is all new Guardians of the Galaxy number 12. I not only thought it was clever, I thought it was funny. I thought it did a great use of different characters. I love the reveal that Cable was actually Loki, even though Cable's only in it for like 1 or 2 pages. So it was this really cool little mini reveal type of thing. And the idea that they're hunting the Infinity Stones, and it seems that already reality has been changed because someone has them. So it's been pretty awesome. I really like the series a lot, and I thought this was a good issue. And of everything that came out this week, I legitimately feel that this was the best book. Think I'm crazy? That's fine, but I really liked it. And it is the winner of Comicus. So which means it floats and ascends up into the heavens, and it becomes a star. Like this. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Look at it. It's beautiful. It's a little furry, little green, really green. It's wearing a helmet. What the heck, Deadpool? Ant-Man? It's one hell of a star. Okay, everybody, thank you very much for watching Comicus. I greatly appreciate it. This will also be on YouTube, and I'm actually getting these on YouTube sooner than they were before. We've been actually, unfortunately, months behind on getting these on YouTube. I'm looking now at getting them up in days within months instead of months. Probably about 2 days from when this is available on Twitch. Also, it's on Twitch on demand if you're watching it there. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah, do we have any suggestions for books next week or books you'd like me to take a look at? Just open it up to that. See if anyone has any suggestions. Well, we did Batman today, so there won't be Batman next week. I mean, there's going to be another one of a one-shots, the Merciless, which is again part of this series. And if it's the current writer of Wonder Woman, it could be pretty amazing because that's James Robinson, the writer of Starman. So that's pretty interesting. I don't know who it is though. I'll have to check. It could be Scott Snyder, and he's done a lot of the issues too, so he's great as well. 50 Shades of Grey. It's good to see a Maniac. I don't know if that's a comic book, and I don't know if I want to read that comic book. I don't know. I honestly don't know. It would be really hard to bring manga in, and very expensive. It's a lot easier for me to do a $3 book than it is a $12 trade, basically. Even though that's how they release their books, they're like $12 a piece. And that's a big read, too. That's not 22 pages. Even though, you know, the books are smaller, it's still it's a larger read. More of a commitment. But yeah, I want to thank you all for watching. You've been awesome. I hope you all have yourself a good night, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.